All right, let's take a little tour of Crouton Ramon's House of Math. People are apparently unable to navigate this confusing page. All right, guys, this is the home page. This is the page you will come to if you click this. And you'll notice that this navigation bar is pretty much on every single page. So if you wind up coming here by some other means, because you did a search term or something and you wind up on one of the other pages, you could click home and you wind up here at home. And then after that, you're interested. Oh, look at this. This says Getting Started. On the Getting Started page, uh, there's a whole bunch of information about how to get started and all links that you can click. You should click the links and read them. There's PDFs on this page. This page, by the way, by itself, costs what? I think $5 for the information on this test. If you want it printed out, Xerox copies and sent to you. And of course, I've edited it. It's a little bit different, and it doesn't have hyperlinks and so on. So right there's $5. Then we go over here to say, I don't know, worksheets. Well, I wonder what would be on the worksheets page. I don't know, worksheets maybe? Here are some worksheets that I made, and then not only that, but screencasts on how to use the things to their best effect. So there's multiple screencasts here that you might have to load a plugin or two, but you can definitely watch these and figure out what it is I'm doing with a worksheet like this on subtraction, etc. And these are downloadable PDFs. If you click them, you'll get a PDF that you can download. And it tells you that if you want the black and white or the color, depending on how you want to do it, like on this one, you might want to have the color worksheets and so on. And there's videos that explain it. There is a PDFs page, if you look further down, that has you need a worksheet. You need a password to get in there. And actually, there's quite a few of them where you need a password. So if you click on one that needs a password, well, you can't get in until you buy a password. Simple as that. And I got to make another video or not a video, but a web page or a blog page or something that shows you all the stuff you get for a password. And I have been told hundreds of times, quite literally hundreds, that I don't charge enough for my passwords. But the idea was to teach math. Was the main point. But there's all kinds of stuff, like pi r squared. This page alone is worth the money, right? There is the derivation of pi r squared. And then here's some fun extra video I put on there that's a video about quote-unquote advanced Pythagorean theorem. Both of these videos are unlisted, so it would be difficult for you to find them. And I'd appreciate it once you did find them that you didn't share them because they're on password protected pages. FAQ. And this page is woefully, I mean, there's a lot of stuff on this page, but I could probably put a lot more stuff on this page because people ask questions all the time. But the idea is go and search Crouton Ramon addition, Crouton Ramon subtraction, Crouton Ramon whatever it is, and you'll get back all kinds of stuff. As long as you put the Crouton Ramon in there, you'll see that there's lots of stuff for, on whatever topic that content that I've created, stuff that I've done. Okay, so here's the password test page, and I should make a page like this. And on the password test page, it tells you all the different pages and things that you can get for your password. I mean, because I have screencast-o-matic pages that people have never heard of, never seen, even though they're right here, and more. I mean, you get hours and hours of stuff for your password. It's not just, one page on Pythagorean theorem or one page on like my book, for example. You can get my here you get an idea of what the book looks like, a few pages, and there's a blog post about it also. But you go to the password page and there it is. There's all kinds of PDFs and all kinds of division and square numbers and square root fractions and more that are covered on the password pages. And if you click on this, and it even says click on this, then you go to the place where you can download it. And there it is, downloading. And here is the book, and you can download this onto your Kindle or onto your whatever it is that you want to. There's places where you can actually download the thing directly to your book or directly to your tablet or notebook or whatever. And here you see, oh look, and this is made for little kids. This was designed for kids 5 and under. so that you could read it to them. It all rhymes, sort of, and it's just fun for them to see, and it's supposed to be colorful, and you can take the tablet to bed, and it's fun to just look, just see what's on there. $5. Try and get a PDF like this for $5. So find it out there, show it to me. Anyway, so there is a ton of stuff. Percentages. You don't find percentages anywhere except on the and then look, it's just video after video after video on percentages and how to present it and make it simple and easy. Is pre-calc there? No, pre-calc is actually its own page. And there's lots of videos that I put on there for you to, fool around with. And I try to not just use YouTube videos, because I found out that around the nation of ours, the many schools block YouTube because of all the naughty content on YouTube, and you wouldn't want your kids looking at that, so can't, trust them to have YouTube. So the teachers can't even get into it. So I use different kinds of screen things and this one takes a minute to load, so that you could watch some of these videos without having to go on. All right, I'm going to speak rapidly. When you go on to my website. So there's Jing and there's a couple other things, but you need to have the plugins and so on for them to work. That's why I like YouTube, because it just works. But then you can't watch it at school and so on. So I tried to make it so that's why you'll see different formats on there. But anyway, search through these things, and people tell me, oh, it doesn't make, well, it goes in order here, right? Basic concepts: counting, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, fractions. What do you get? Percents. I haven't made a page on decimals yet because I've got so much time. And then it goes on to algebra and advanced algebra and Pythagorean theorem and quadratic formula and some pre-calc, and here's some other fun stuff, for little kids. Eat, sleep, math has all kind of fun things on there that you could be doing with your kids. It's got videos drawing with chalk and playing with macaroni, and there's links here to, cutting up, using grapes and cutting up oranges and all kind of fun stuff. So like right here, just picking and eating oranges. Look, here's a whole page on an everyday just activity that you could do, especially if you're down in Florida or down south someplace, with oranges. And just counting oranges and fooling around with fractions and multiplication all at once, so that they get, okay, this is a half and another 2 halves of an orange. Anyway, you'll see it on the page there. And then we were counting by threes because we arranged them by threes, and there's my kid being a ham and having fun. Anyway, and then we made a smoothie and so on. It just, right? And then here's a video using grapes and counting grapes, addition and subtraction. Doesn't have to be expensive plastic manipulatives. It can be just fooling around, right? Everyday activities. Math is around you all the time. I mean, if you watch this video right here, this is great, because this guy talks about when little kids are playing math, half the time, or just playing in general, half the time these kids are using math concepts and math skills and counting and so forth and adding and shapes and all kinds of stuff. Anyway, watch this video, and you'll see that little kids like math, right? It's the parents. It's you guys that are afraid of math. It's you guys that are math phobiacs. And of course your kids are going to be math phobiacs. It's not in your genes. It's in your behavior. So, and I tell teachers this all the time. If you hate math, I guarantee you your kids are going to hate math. And if you're a female teacher in high school and you don't like mathematics, then your kids, right? And most of the time that's not the case. Most of the time what we have now is that when you get to the high school age, these are the exception, not the rule. These are the women that actually made it through to the point where they can teach mathematics, and they took enough math where they can teach high school mathematics, and they're left-brained, and they don't see the problem. Then we have the teachers that are in the grade school level, like 4th grade teachers, or, and on down, 6th grade on down, and they don't like math, and they don't really spend a lot of time with math, and the kids can tell they don't like math, and of course the kids won't like math either. Awesome. We have a nation of math phobiacs. Here is my page, and you'll be able to date this by the fact that I only have, at this point, 1,100 or so likes on this page. And go like my page. Go over here and rate it, because there's a bunch. I got in a fight with a bunch of Christians, and they gave me this lovely 1 rating. You'll see that most people that come to my page give me 5 stars, and then I've had a few others that were 2 stars and so forth. Oh, he uses the F-bomb once in a while. Yeah, this is a page for adults, not kids. And Facebook is supposed to be for adults, not kids. Anyway, on my Facebook page, you get all kinds of updates and so forth, and once in a while I give links to password protected pages or videos that are going to go on a password protected page. And sometimes I put the link up and then you delete it again. And it doesn't matter anyway because people look at this news feed and they can't, they can't even keep up with all the stuff that I put on here. But it has lots of stuff, and I notice, to my chagrin, that when I put a page up like this, it has actual math content that I've created. It gets very few views. When I put something up like this, it gets lots and lots of views. Anyway, so here is the blog. Now, the blog is not your regular blog. My blog has information on it that's pretty much timeless. That if you want to see, like, this is just me tooting my horn about, oh, I've got this kid that is autistic, and I was now, wouldn't you think, just for fun, I'm gonna throw this in here, that if I had this kid that was getting 50s and below when I met him, and he's autistic, and supposedly it's difficult to teach him mathematics, and in no time, and I mean no time, I have this kid getting A's, right? Where he's not just getting A's, he's getting 100%. There's a pile of papers that he was getting 100% on when before he was getting 50s. Wouldn't you think that this would be vaguely interesting to his teachers and perhaps some of the faculty and administration at his school? Where did he go? What did they do to be able to teach this kid math? No, no. No, they not one phone call, not one anything. Never even probably checked out Crouton Ramon's House of Math or a website or a page or anything. Never made a phone call, never anything. This is the way it is in public school. We know we can't teach math, but we're certainly not going to look for a different way to do things because this is the way we've always done it. All right, that part of the rant's over. Let's see here. Here's Screencast-O-Matic, which is how I'm doing it. Here is my uploads on Screencast-O-Matic, and you'll see that I have a couple of channels. Here is a bunch of, let's decrease the size of that baby a little bit. There you go. A bunch of screencasts like this one, which will be included now on there. And I have exactly 2 channels. I have the, and there's links to these directly, so you don't have to go dig around on the Screencast-O-Matic site to find it. But anyway, there's the Crouton Ramon's House of Math. These are all just regular old public ones. And then there's the password protected videos. And like I said, there's links on my at the website, at this website, to this page, which is a whole lot of videos there. You'll see that I can't even scroll down all the way, but there's probably, another 5 that you can't see here that are all password protected, which you get when you buy a password. So there are, like I said, there is a lot of resources there, and you have no excuse now. Now, here's the thing with the blog. You can go down here, and I guess a lot of people don't know how to navigate the blog, and click on this where it says blog activity, right? So you can see that back there when I first started the blog, I did a whole bunch of them, right? You can see I was a lot more active before, and last year I just, screw it, nobody's at my blog anyway. It's, it was a labor of love that very few people were taking advantage of, and now people are starting to figure it out, and I'm getting a lot more hits. But why would I spend time if you're not going to read the stuff? But anyway, so here is like 97 posts I made in 2011. All right, so then you can go through and see by month, and then you can go through and see in December I made 12 posts, and here they are. And maybe you look through it that way. Or you could use your search engine and put in Crouton Ramon division if you're looking for division. Crouton Ramon Pythagorean theorem. Crouton Ramon whatever it is. I'm the only Crouton Ramon. So if you type Crouton Ramon and a search term, Crouton Ramon associative theory of addition. Crouton Ramon commutative. Crouton Ramon, right? Distributive. Crouton Ramon base 10 blocks. Crouton Ramon, whatever it is. You put it into your search engine and you'll get pages that I've written back. Some of them may require a password. For the most part, the password protective pages, though, have no follow on them, so they don't even show up in the search engines. You need to be able to get a password and go in and check it out for yourself. So anyway, like I said, that's my fault. I should probably build a page that says, here's what you get for a password, because you get a lot of stuff for a password. I can go through here and show you that, a lot of these pages are protected. Like Sarah's sample lessons, that's a autistic kid. When I met her, she was doing very little math. By the time I was done with her, she passed the compass test and she passed the GED. And when I met her in 10th grade, she could barely do math because, she's autistic. Why bother teaching her? And again, wouldn't you think that it would be vaguely interesting to some of the teachers and administrators to find out what happened to Sarah, where she was doing no math and now she suddenly was able to, pass the GED, etc. I mean, just it's amazing. That was a superfluous, etc. It's amazing that they're not interested. They don't care. They got too much going on. Their plates are full. They got tons of kids that they're responsible for. So anyway, go through and just click on these things. It seems to me it should be pretty simple to navigate. The ones that talk about, if you've got kids that need help with addition, click the addition. If they're in multiplication, right? And then you'll see that if you click on the concepts tab, that we talk about, getting started and basic concepts. That if you go into the basic concepts, it talks about, well, here's the 5 basic concepts, here's what you need, 3-period lesson, etc., directed discovery, take the no out of the lesson, so forth. And then we talk about the various ideas behind it. And then I need to make a 6-hour audio course on just this alone, because you don't really need to see it. In the other pages, you need to see what's going on, right? You need to be able, when I talk about playing with the trays and building the blocks in there and using 2 hands, it's helpful to have a video that actually demonstrates it. But when we're just talking about concepts, like why you want to get the no out of the lesson, or the idea that we level the playing field, we can be teaching addition and subtraction at the same time. We can be teaching addition and algebra at the same time. It doesn't have to be the traditional way that they do it, and what other programs and other places that are offshoots of Mortensen Math, where they don't give the little kids algebra. Right? They wait till high school to introduce algebra, or 6th or 7th grade. It makes me crazy. No, right in the beginning, right when they're 5 years old, algebra concepts, math concepts, none of them are beyond the grasp of the child if you present it at the child's level. This is what makes this completely different. Now, if I can teach a little 5-year-old kid algebra, I can teach you, math phobiac parent, algebra 2, right along with your little kid. And you have to swallow your pride maybe a little bit, or your ego and so forth, and you learn right along with your kids. I get moms that are so excited once they realize that they can learn right along with their kids. And sometimes the kids teach them, right? Okay, so the idea here is that there is a huge amount of resource for you for free on the internet. I mean, free, free, free. If you never buy a password, and most of you don't, it's free. I don't care. You don't have to get stuff from me. You can go direct to Mortensen Math. I don't care. You can get stuff from Cuisenaire or from Matthew C. or whoever the heck it is. Get the blocks, get them in your hands, and start learning some mathematics. This is the idea. When I first got into this company back in 1990, actually I think it was 89 when I first was introduced to it, there was like not even, like I think there was 1 VHS tape that you could get. And then with much insistence and a lot of work, a couple of 2-3 years later, like by 1994, I think they had 5 VHS tapes that were 2 hours each on problem solving fractions, getting started, like, the really short video, calculus, well, the linear calculus, and what was the 5th one? Algebra. And that was it. You got 10 hours, and that was 10 hours of video, and off you go. Well, now I have I should bring up the YouTube channel. That would probably be intelligent. Let's see here. YouTube. Okay, so if you go to YouTube, and you go to, yes, and you go to my channel here. Let's go to my channel on YouTube. There's Crouton Ramon's channel. There's me. Oh my God. Anyway, back in the day when I used to wear monkey suits and dance, monkey dance for the corporate Americans that wanted me to, present for them. Anyway, here, how many videos am I up to now? Does it say over here? I can't remember where to look. Yes, there you go. I have 270, views. Nope. How many videos do I have? Hundreds is what it is. I know this. There's, right? Look at this one. It's got 19,000 views. I made it as a total lark. It's crazy. Anyway, there's go on YouTube and just search Crouton Ramon, whatever you want. Crouton Ramon, right? Square numbers, for example. Oh, look at all the videos on square numbers, right? Finding square roots and completing the square and playing with squares and so forth. And it's just look, it's not even crouton Ramon. It's just crouton square numbers. How about crouton Ramon? I don't know, radicals. If you want to teach because it's not just for little kids. Oh, look, playing with radicals, and there's pages and pages and pages and video after video. Okay, so the idea, guys, is just use your search engine and look around. I know you want it spoon-fed to you. I know you want a track to run on. I know you want a curriculum that does this, 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 this. Do this first. Well, here, I'll give you this very quickly for curriculum. When they're really young, you have to take notes. I have a tool here, but I'm not going to use it because I don't really need a whiteboard. But when they're very young, when they're 5 and under, teach them multiplication songs. Teach them how to write numbers, and that's about all you're doing, like as art class. But teach them how to write some numbers, sing some songs about skip counting, and you're good. Teach them about add-ins, and you're good. Right? That's going to be what you want to do. Now, you should be able to introduce algebra right away also. You should be able to put your algebra in there, and we just make it puzzles. Here, take x squared through x and 2 and turn it into a rectangle. And make it fun. And play. You'll see this on the pages here where I've got these little second graders. But, I mean, they could just as easily be first graders. Okay, and play. Just play. Build towers. Build stuff. Have a good time. You don't have to be doing stuff that's no fun and lots of worksheets and paper and pencil, and they have to develop their motor skills well enough that they okay, so here, look, so here's some games playing what's under the cup, and the addition page goes to more and more pages. Like, here, look, we're building towers and walls, and can they help but learn math facts when they're building stuff like this? No, they can't help but learn math facts. And there's go search crouton Ramon add-ins and see what comes back. Check out let's see here. Right? Start teaching. Just click on the links. You want to start with addition, just right. But the problem is people see, and here's pictures of various games, and there's more pages that show houses that you can build and so on. It couldn't be more detailed on what to do, how to teach addition. Play. But the idea is that while you're teaching addition, you can be doing division because you're just counting, simple, small, easy concepts where all we're doing is counting, right? And so here we're just counting over 4 by 2, right? And then we can see that that's multiplication, and then the inverse function is division when we say, look, if I'm 4 across, how far down is it? If the whole thing is 8, well, the answer is 2. And it's not big stuff that we're doing here. It's not hard, right? It's not. This is about kids hate long division, but not if you ease them into it and they've been used to doing division since they were 6. It's not a big deal. It's just bigger is funner, right? The numbers just get bigger. It's the same concept every time, and then you don't turn them off to mathematics. All right, I can go on for hours because there's hours and hours and hours of content now. And see, some people make it like that's a bad thing. But I'm telling you, back in the day, we've got these huge, powerful tools. I could see that, especially when I went to the mainland and started studying with Jerry, that he had kits for all kinds of different things. Like, I don't even use all the kits that Jerry had created. I use a combo kit, and you'll see if you go to products and passwords what I'm talking about. Right, here's the fractions kit. Here's some books and so here's me unboxing what used to be the curriculum starter kit. This box no longer even exists, but there's a combo kit right there, and how to put these things together. And if you want to, or not how to put them together, but if you wanted to just take a look at combo kits or a combo kit. Okay, so here's another screencast covering that, and here's the new combo kits, and there's the old, right? Okay, so how to use these things. Just this tray alone, you can teach most of the mathematics with just that. That's why I say just get a combo kit and a password and you're good, right? Because with this combo kit, we can teach addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, fractions, algebra, problem solving, right? It goes on and on. It's very, very useful, and it's very efficient because of the ability to put the blocks together. And as other people have talked about, in comparison to other materials, the trays themselves help teach the math, and that's 100% by design. They teach sorting when they're little kids, and they teach add-ins when they're older kids. And there's lots of stuff you can do just with those, just using the trays. Um, the point being here is that we had these hugely powerful tools, and people didn't know how to use them. And it was just, I was like, this is just ridiculous that we have this system that's so effective for teaching mathematics, and you get the blocks home and see if this is all you've got this right here. Well, you're kind of messed up because most people can't take the blocks and open up a math textbook and start showing what the symbols mean, because they don't know how to decode the symbols either. They've never seen it. I mean, math teachers, college professors, engineers, and so forth. When I show them, some trig functions, or when I show them distributive theory of multiplication, or I show them how to factor third power problems, they're amazed because they could always do it because they're engineers or math teachers and so forth, but they've never seen it, right? They could see the symbols, but now they see that the symbols really do represent spatial reality, that there is geometry to the mathematics, and that it all fits together nicely. Okay, so the reason I made this video is, one, to give you a tour, and two, to give you an idea that you have these hugely powerful blocks in your hands. Use them, even if they're not Mortensen math blocks, if they're Cuisenaire blocks, if they're Matthew C blocks, if they're just regular base 10 blocks. And you're going to find out that these really are the Rolls Royce of the block world. When you that's not just bragging, or because I'm partial, because I am obviously biased. But if you get out there and start using base 10 blocks to teach mathematics, you will find that these are the best ones to teach mathematics with. It's as simple as that. Especially if you're using the base 10 blocks. I never did get around to it. I've got a bag of them here someplace that a teacher loaned me so I could make a video about it. The ones that just have flats, bars, and units. Wow, if you want to build something like 36 using units, the kids are going to get bored before they, right? Over here, I just grab 6 blocks, right? 6 sixes, boom, 36. Or, I could grab 4 nines. But if I'm making a square, I need 6 sixes. If I were to build it with units, it takes forever. And by the time it's done, the kids are bored, and it takes too long, too much time on the model, not enough time on the concept and the mathematics. And you'll see this over and over again with other blocks. The model takes up all the time, and you don't want to spend time modeling. That's why these blocks are the way they are. That's why there's multiple 10 kits and so forth. Because if you have, let's go to this. Oh, hold on a second. If you have the ability to just grab, let's get this here, boom. And these prices are going up, by the way. I'm going to change all these buttons. Hopefully by the time you read this, everything will be back to normal. But where is the, okay, so there's a fractions kit. Rats, I don't have a multiple tens kit showing there. But anyway, there's let's put it over here and put multi-tens in. Let's see. Oops. See if it'll come back. What? Continue. Really? Nothing comes back? Boo. I didn't spell it right. It's too small. All right. That's humorous. Maybe I should cut that out of the video. But anyway, the idea is that if you have a multi-tens kit, you can just grab 5x or 10x or whatever it is. It doesn't have to be where you need to count out 10 of them. Uh-oh, and now I'm locked up because it's my whatever, the blog really eats up processing power when it has to load all this stuff. And by the way, these things over here, these are just top posts. These are just posts that are popular. But all the like I said, almost every post on here is timeless because it talks about a concept or how to teach it, or gives you an example with a kid so that you can see, oh, right? Oh, there's a post that isn't so awesome. But it talks about, oh, the various places you can go, like my Twitter and so forth right there. And let's see here. Let's go over here to October and just pick that one. Right? And then this one talks about various scams going on. Anyway, just go through and find stuff that might be interesting to you. I'm just picking out ones, right? Here. Where do symbols come from? Here's a lesson on absolute value and where some of the symbols come from. Just a fast, quick thing. Right? That's just because it's a couple of years old doesn't mean it's not good anymore. And then here's, some more sample lessons with other students so you can see how it works. Okay, I hope I've made my point. At this point, here's, and my own kids, of course, are on there, but it's a lot of fun. Uh, People tell me that it's a lot of fun if you look at fun that way. There's some more on Sarah and so forth, fractions and so on. I mean, just pages and pages of how to present, how to get the concepts across, how to make it fun and easy, and with all kinds of different students, not just my sons, right? There's some Pythagorean theorem and more Pythagorean theorem and so on. And see, because you got to be able to dig into my blog to find some of these things, people don't find them. They don't see them because I think they don't know how to navigate and they don't know how to search. But the idea is just put Crouton-Ramon and whatever the search, Crouton-Ramon Pythagorean theorem, Crouton-Ramon advanced algebra, and see what comes back. Lots of videos come back. Lots of pages come back. And then once you get through all the free stuff, because there's so much stuff for free, then you can go through and start, going to pages where you need a password, and then, for $5, you can get lots of password. I mean, lots of value for your password because I don't change them as often as I'm supposed to, but that's about to change. I'm going to get to the point where you can't get a password for $5. But here's a problem-solving page, right, where I have lots of videos on how to present problem solving. And it's not, took a little while for that one to load, but look at that, video after video after video, and variables, systems of equations. Look at that, how much stuff you get. That should be $5 all by itself, but no, there's more, right? You get the bamboo steamer, you get, right? There's the PDFs page. And where do you find the PDFs page? Well, look over here where it says PDFs, and you can get that. Here's video of, let's see here, okay, there's the PDFs page down there near the bottom underneath my book. Oh, you need a password to get into the password protected PDFs page, believe it or not. But there's lots of PDFs. I've already been here. I've already shown you this. And every page has the navigation bar, so you can always get back home and you can always find your way home. And it's redundant navigation too, because every page has, you need a password these are videos of my sons when they were very young. It makes me sad because these boys don't exist anymore. They've gotten, they don't stay puppies for long. They've gotten bigger and bigger. But if you go to the bottom of every page, and I don't think I can show you the bottom of the page, there's almost always a green arrow that you can click also. But the page has the tool, or the the navigation bar on it, so you can always go home and you can always, click around to various other places that you need to go. And I know that people see this website and they get overwhelmed because there's so much stuff. But it's just like eating an elephant, one bite at a time is how it works. Right? You just read a few pages today. A lot of people take some time off on the weekends. Also, just before you teach your math class or to your kids, or if you're a homeschooler, just before you do math, you can come to the website and spend a little time on whatever topic it is and get some ideas, and then two of you can do what you see. And other kids I know, or other parents, they just watch the video and get the blocks out. Don't just watch, it's not a spectator sport, and follow along and do what I do and stop the video and pause and play and then start the video some more and then play and then start the video and watch some more and play. And it takes, sometimes a video that's only 15 minutes long might take an hour to get through because you sit there and do the activities and play and goof off and have a good time with your kids. And then before you know it, your kids are like this guy. And if you watch this video, I'm stealthily in this video. I got in a fight with the marketing company that did this. But anyway, so they cut me out of it. But they're in the back of if you look carefully, there's a blurry guy in a suit, and that's me. Anyway, because I worked with this kid. Not just Jerry. And there were several others that they used to anyway, this kid was very, very helpful to me when I was in Utah because he made it very clear to lots of people that the math wasn't hard. If this little 7-year-old can do it, maybe you could do it too. Okay, I've been going on now for almost 35 minutes and we're going to stop. But that's Crouton-Ramon's House of Math. There's a guided tour. There's some of what you get for a password. and hopefully this will be helpful to some, and you can, be more efficient at using all this humongoloid amount of content I've created.